One.
All right, guys, welcome to the podcast. Today, I'm going to be taking the lead today since Arthur's feeling under the weather after the Dre's beats. But
Oh
it is,
man, you got to go
and,
there.
uh, and we also got Power Ranking Johns in the house. So we're going to go from there, and we should be taking right up to the recap. So let me look at
Start
my
it up.
screen. Let me look at my screen here. So we'll bring up the recap, which just happens to come up mine in the beginning. And man, talk about a beatdown. 139 to 113. Just going off the stats real quick here. Justin Fields of game, man, versus Dak Prescott, also not very good. Olave been putting up a lot of yards with no touchdown so far. Chase
Mm,
finally came up big, man. 141 yards, 12 receptions. Clay definitely needed that because everybody was going to
yeah,
come after Chase, you
yeah.
know?
Salivating.
Yeah. We got Pittman here, another solid game. Ridley, oof, what a letdown game.
Mm.
Tank Dell, man, came up big. Not Tank Dell. Yeah, came up big. 23 points. We got Adam Thielen. What a surprise, man. 26 points. Highly criticized
Mm-hmm.
waiver
Clay was
pickup by
smart. He tried to
Clay.
trade him after this week.
But is that going to continue though with Bryce Young coming back?
Bryce Young is coming back, so that determines that it is to be seen. We got McCaffrey, which we all expected a solid game. Sanders, also a very modern game. Well, very good game. 14 points. It's not bad.
Yeah,
Robinson, Kelly, man, what a bust, man. After that,
awful, awful.
awful. And Andrews, mediocre game. I'm not even gonna talk about his tight end. It's straight garbage. I don't
Why?
know
Why
why.
is he? Why
Why
is he
would you
rostered?
even? Why would you even play Clay? This is why you're 0-3.
What a rook, bro.
But yeah, and then we got the defenses. Kansas City put up big points, but I'm gonna let you guys talk a little bit to see what you guys think about what happened on this scrub down that I just gave them.
Man, I mean, first of all, finally Jamar Chase is getting back to, the reason why people had drafted him top three outside of our league, probably. Adam Thielen, 26 points. Dude, I mean, that's just a fluke game, though, you got to think, right? I mean, he's 3,700 years old. He had who was throwing him the rock? It wasn't Darnold. It was who was the quarterback?
Oh man, I'm drawing a blank, but it was Andy
What
Dalton.
what
Was it Andy
what
Dalton?
Yeah, it was
Dalton,
Dalton.
Dalton, Red
Panthers,
Rocket,
yeah.
Red
Dalton.
Rifle, whatever you want to call him. So, dude, I don't know. Is that production going to continue? Because Bryce Young really wasn't looking his way that much. Yes, he was getting some receptions here or there, but enough
I
to
mean,
spread like that? That's crazy, man.
I mean,
I would be trying to sell high as fuck if I'm Clay right now, but I don't
Yeah.
think our league would be buying, man. We're too savvy.
Well, I think mentioning it on here also doesn't help his case. So
Well, Clay can't trade himself, right? That's the only person that would fall for a sell high like that.
what Palm was trying to do last week. He's like, "Oh, if I was John, I would sell so and so right now." And then the rest of the league's probably like, "Yeah, no, I'm not biting for that
yeah,
now."
you definitely gotta take everything Palm says with a grain of salt because
Oh yeah,
there's
he's
always
mind
something in
games.
there, mind games
All
and
mind games. I
upgrades.
already know.
Yeah,
Nice try,
but
my dude. No shot.
but I think one of the big stories here is also Miami, man, putting up 70 points.
I mean, that's
And
absurd.
we got Mostert with 41 points. And I know Clay saying he saved me, but not really, bro. Even if he would have scored 25 points, I would have still won. So I think that his team is, with Joshua Kelly there, he got to do something with that running back, man.
I mean,
Yeah,
overall, he didn't have a terrible week compared to some others.
no,
No,
he had a solid week, but yeah, the Joshua Kelly, the Cole Kmet, why? Like that killed you, right? You could have easily won that game against. I guess listen, you had a blow up game with Mostert, but I don't know, man. He's not going to go that far with those two players. And who does he have on his bench?
well,
So
he's
Oh,
hoping
he's
for
got Kamara.
Kamara.
Kamara's
Yeah, he's
coming back, fine.
how
definitely.
often is Miami going to put up 70 points either? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what kind of Kamara you think is going to come back? Is he going to be rusty? I mean, he hasn't had any practice or game experience this season yet. So what kind of player are you going to get next week out of him? That's something to consider as well.
I think it's going to take a couple weeks for him to get in rhythm for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. I agree with
Plus, they're
that.
probably going to slowly work him in as well.
Any concern? Do you think he has a concern with Ridley's usage? Because he only had 3 catches for 40 yards, and that was against a Houston defense who, they're
No,
not that great, man.
I think Ridley's fine. He just had a down game.
Yeah.
Everyone in the Jags, man, that's just been
What is
such a
happening there?
disappointment.
What
Such a
the
disappointment. But I think he's gonna have a bounce game. And Houston, man, they just showed up to play.
Yeah, they really did, man. And that bodes well for you with Tank Dell. It seems like him and Nico Collins are, the beneficiaries of who's the
I mean,
quarterback? CJ
I don't know.
Stroud. They're slinging it there, man. They're
I wouldn't
slinging
be
it.
too sure about Ridley having a bounce back week. He didn't have a great week
That's
last
two
week
weeks in
either.
a
It's
row
two
now.
weeks in a row.
Yeah, you're right. Definitely
You
something
don't
to
you
note.
don't think so? I mean, he's definitely got the better talent out of all the wide receivers. He's gonna have to pop, man.
Yeah, but why
Yeah,
isn't
but
Doug
having
Peterson calling the plays? That's part of the problem there. I think that's why they're struggling so bad.
having all that time off that he had last year too, that definitely doesn't help.
But you saw the blow up game on week 1, though. I mean,
Yeah, but I mean, look at a Shane or whatever his name is this week. Anyone could have a lucky week.
not to switch the subject, but just because I saw on your bench, Phil, dude, is Watson ever going to play for you? Is he just going to be out
Oh
for
man,
the
I think
season?
he's
What the
gonna.
fuck?
What a well, so far it's been a
Wow.
bust,
I mean, it's
but
worked out for you. You've been winning games, but
I,
damn.
I could have been in trouble.
What
I
was he,
could have
your
been.
third pick? Third round?
I think it was fourth. I think it
Fourth
was
round?
fourth. Yeah, I think it was fourth round, but he should be starting this Thursday. So we'll see.
Heard
And
that for 2 weeks now already, man.
well, things are still looking good. I'm 2-1.
Bro,
Clay is 0-3. He's got to be sounding alarms there.
Yeah.
If
Oh,
he
yeah.
think Kamara's gonna save him, I think he's wrong. But we'll
bro,
see
the
what.
Packers are weird with their injuries though. Like when Aaron Jones came out of the game week 1, they had said that he could have went back in if it was competitive, but he didn't obviously, and then he doesn't play week 2, doesn't play
Mhm.
week 3, so now it's week 4 already, and we didn't think the injury was that serious, and obviously it's a lot more serious than we
All
thought.
those
So
coaches, they just play game. They're like Palm. It's just mind
yeah,
games. They try to, throw the other team off so that they can't prepare, or they're preparing for this guy, even though they know he's going to be out. So frustrating for fantasy owners for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And I think there's not much to be said here. Metcalf put a solid game, no touchdowns. Um, I think that's pretty much it. Unless you guys got something else to say.
no,
Yeah.
that's pretty much it. Except Clay better do something soon, or
Yo,
be in trouble.
I will be freaking in that chat room saying Chase is on the blocks and your
Listen, man, we've
Bro, he's
all
stacked at receivers. He could trade
yeah.
one of his good receivers
easily.
for like 2 like decent running backs, or
You
pair
guys
up
put
even one of
into his
his.
mind that I traded him last year, and he's so scared of making
Here,
moves and being judged
here,
that it's clouding his vision, man.
here's what's
And
gonna happen. It's gonna take one trade, I think, for it to open up. That first trade, people are gonna be like, "Oh, all right, this nigga sold this guy. Okay,
Yeah,
they'll start getting comfortable, and I think they'll see this trade start flowing in after that.
well,
yeah,
That's my
he
prediction."
he should get that boat started though. That party
Mm-hmm.
started.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Clayton and Mario should definitely be the first two to try to make something happen for sure.
Agree.
But all right, so on my next matchup that comes up on my list, Arthur and Andre.
Mm.
What happened here, man? I did pick you to win, and Andre, with a bum squad, no Barkley, was able to pull up a win, which got him feeling all tough in the chat this week,
Yeah,
which
it was as active as he's ever been.
active as he's ever
Coincidence,
been.
huh?
Just running through the lineups right here. Lawrence, man, like her is saying, he's
Hurting.
not doing well right now, which Andre had Matt Stafford, which also didn't do him any good.
Yeah.
CeeDee Lamb, mediocre game. That Dallas offense is suffering right now, which Arizona put up a surprising game,
So
man.
surprising.
So surprising. Everybody expected that to be a blowout.
They're
At least I
scrappy,
did.
bro.
They are. They are. I thought they
Arizona's
were
scrappy.
tanking, but I guess not.
Listen, man.
I think that they are, but like they realize like in the Giants game, they're like, whoa, I think we're like pretty, not that we're good,
Yeah.
but we're not
Not
as bad as
we
we thought we
thought.
were gonna be.
Yeah, yeah.
And
And,
They
and
kind
then
of just
add
let the
that to
Giants slip, but
Dallas probably overlooking them, thinking it's an easy win. It ended up being like
oh
a
yeah.
trap game almost.
Well, I also think with that injury on their defense, Diggs, that probably hurt their
Yeah,
morale a lot too. So they came up definitely flat-footed.
for sure.
We got Garrett Wilson with a mediocre game, man. That's gotta be a alarm, alarm on that wide receiver. They gotta hope for Trevor Siemian to come back and resuscitate. But
Bro, that's crazy.
anything's an upgrade over Zach Wilson, I think.
I
That's
guess
crazy. That's all they were able to come up with was Trevor fucking Simeon.
that's got to be on purpose too, man. I mean,
Are they
that's not the other
tanking? What are
option.
they doing?
No, they said they're not making him active week like this first week because he's got to learn the playbook and all that shit.
I feel like with that defense and like the Dolphins are probably gonna, run away with that division, but I feel like the wild card could be like a 9-8 team. So
that team is built to win now, though. You put a decent
yeah,
quarterback in there, and that's
Need
bro,
some quarterback play.
I'd be calling freaking Philip Rivers.
yeah, anyone,
I
dude,
I would give Matt Ryan a shot.
for real.
Anybody
Yeah.
over Wilson at this point because clearly he is not him. So
Not him.
There's a lot of decent backups out there that could put up decent numbers. Look at Arizona. What a great move they made with that backup there. I mean,
Dobbs.
how about this
yeah.
one? What do you guys think about Davis Mills?
Oh yeah, that's a really good name to mention, man, because he was serviceable. I'm not saying he
Oh
was
yeah.
elite or anything, but he was making things happen for that offense last year. That's actually a
Wow.
really good name to throw out there.
He's not a fantasy quarterback, but he's definitely a game manager for sure. That can move
Yeah,
sticks.
that's all they need. They're like an Alex Smith type of player. I'm not saying he's as good as Alex Smith, but doesn't
And
make
he's young
mistakes.
too. He's young.
Yeah, that's actually a really good name. I don't know, man.
So
I would go to Florham Park if I were you and make that suggestion.
I'll make a
So-
couple calls.
Yeah,
so moving on, we got Christian Kirk with a very good fantasy output, 13 points, 1 touchdown, 54 yards.
that touchdown
Or rec-
saved me, or
Well,
saved him.
well, yeah. T. Higgins, man, what a fluke game. I don't know what's going on there.
Alarms.
21 yards, 2 receptions.
A lot of drops too. If you watch the game,
I didn't. That was a late, Mondays are
Yeah.
late games for me. We got Zay Flowers, man. I mean, what's going on with the target so short, man? Like
I like the
5,
usage,
6
bro.
yards. I mean, the targets are there. I
Yeah,
just wish they would spread out the ball a little bit, like further the targets. Mike Evans, man, who would have seen? I wouldn't. We got a solid, like a great game, 1 yard. I mean, 1 touchdown, 60 yards on a crazy catch too. If you guys saw
Oh
that.
yeah, it was a nice catch. He's having a year actually, man. Baker's really targeting him up.
Yeah, and then we got Jahmyr Gibbs here with a mediocre game, man. It's not what you expected from your boy. What happened?
To,
I think he'll be all right.
to defend him, I mean, he had 17 carries for 80 yards. So that's okay, not a great fantasy day, but that's a great usage. So I'm really not concerned, man. He's gonna get his. I'll defend.
I just thought he'd get more without Montgomery in there,
He's like Palm has alluded to, he's not that type of every down back. So I think actually Montgomery being out hurts him a little bit because he was more of that like third down reception, change of pace back. And I think that's what really he used to his advantage. But yeah, my hopes are still up on him, man. I'm not down on him at all.
And Isaiah Pacheco, man, Dre just lucked out with that play. He's like a hit or miss in that offense. It's like a dart throw. 62 yards, 1 rush touchdown.
He runs hard, bro. He runs hard.
Yeah, but there's also a lot of players on that team, man. I don't know. I think he's just gonna get. He could have easily had a mediocre game. But moving on, Brian Robinson.
Bijan.
Bijan Robinson. Sorry. Also,
That's his floor. That's a floor game. 8 points.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
What do you guys think about Zach Moss, man? That's about to end right there. 21 points, 122 yards, a touchdown.
That killed me.
Oof.
And that was an early game. That was like the 1 o'clock games too.
That was a 1 o'clock game. Oh man, losing to Andre's got to have a sour taste in your mouth, especially after all that stuff you were popping during the week, that's not good.
What do you want me to be silent, bro? Of
I
course I found
mean,
my shit.
of course, man. That's how it should. I mean, with
I would.
Andre's team too, I would have definitely popped it because
Yeah,
it's straight
yeah.
up
I thought that
garbage.
was easiest to win, bro.
I mean,
Oh my.
somebody starting Zach Moss against me, bro.
Oh God.
Oh,
Saquon's out too. Like I thought
Saquon's
that was like a
out.
walk in
Yeah.
the park, bro.
And then we got Pat Fryermuth, 11 points, man. Solid game from a tight end. You can't ask for anything more off the
You
tight
like
end.
that pickup, right? That would I didn't roster him at the start of the week. That was like a
Fire.
last
That
minute
was a good
move.
move. That was a good move. And then
Not
we
that it
got,
helped, but thanks.
yeah, we got Hawkinson. Solid game. He did had a fumble that cost Andre a little bit, but not by much, which, Collins, man.
Brutal.
I guess they're going to feed off one another. It's going to be a tank a game, and then it's going to be a Collins
Yeah.
another game. And doubts, man. Look at 16 points. No Jones, no Watson. So somebody's got to produce, right?
Yeah.
And then we got the defense here. Washington brutal, and Philadelphia solid, man. That's John's team right there. I hate to talk about that ugly squad, the Eagles, but they are very good right now. So
Just to touch on Dobbs real quick. I don't know. I didn't really watch the game, but he had 12 targets and only 5 receptions. So that's either Jordan Love isn't the most accurate passer or he's dropping passes. So that's also something that you have to look at as well. You can't just always go by. You got a touchdown, take 6 away. That's only 9 points.
To note on that, and I'm sure we're going to talk about it in a little bit the next segment, but that's why I picked up Musgrave's back because I watched that game. Dude, there were like 3 targets specifically that he missed Musgrave, the tight end, on, right? Musgrave, that's his name?
yes,
Yeah.
he missed them.
That would have changed the entire fantasy outlook on Musgrave, and there would have been a higher bid. And so I think ultimately Love is a little bit rusty still. Maybe doesn't have the timing down with these receivers, but the fact is, he's targeting them. They're open. It's about that timing now, and I think they're going to hone in on that. So I think part of that is, hey, Dobbs is getting 12 targets. That's huge. And the other side is, Love is not connecting on some of those. But hey, enough to be a fantasy relevant quarterback, man. What a surprise he's been.
Yeah,
You got to focus on for receivers. You got to focus on targets and receptions and running backs, attempts and yards. You can't really go by points because. Like, for example, Alex had Ford. He had like 10 carries for like 30 yards.
Yeah.
But he fell into the end zone and he had a wide open, they busted coverage reception touchdown, which obviously padded his fantasy points. So,
I think
that's also something you got to consider.
I think we also have a bigger story here when we're looking at the benches, man.
I was just gonna say, man.
Connor. We got Connor at 18 points on the bench.
Yeah, Arthur, you got to explain this one, bro.
I need you to explain the train of thought on this one. Dallas defense, that's what it was?
Yeah, so part of it, Dallas defense, they've been elite all game, like what they did to the Giants and whoever they had the following week. Okay, there's that. And then there's an Arizona offense that, I didn't expect them to come out swinging, balls to the walls like they did against, the week prior against the Giants, man. That's a tough defense. So add that with the fact of I'm not benching Bijan. I'm not benching Gibbs, especially with the Montgomery news. So who am I going to flex? I had Nico Collins coming off the 10+ games, huge games against the Jacksonville defense where, I'm thinking that's going to be a high scoring affair and they're not going to be, running the ball much that game. So that's kind of what swayed my decision. And ultimately, it was one that cost me. And it's, you think about the Arizona Cardinals and it's not that sexy team, but someone has to score points. And, look at Marquise Brown as well. Same concept, bro. That's 14 points, 14 and a half points chilling on my bench. So I'm definitely going to have to start thinking a little bit more about starting these Arizona Cardinals players. So I don't know. We'll see, man. I got some decisions to make going forward.
Looking at Dre's bench, not to tell there, a bunch of scrubs. Not even worth mentioning. Henry, though, I thought he put up more points against, but they did face the Jets, but
Henry. Oh, Hunter Henry.
Yeah. All right. So anything else you want to comment on, John, before we move on to the next one?
I have one thing. What was the point of drafting a player of, you wasted a good draft capital on a player like Samaje Perine, and they got Javonte Williams, and then Perine, I mean, he was okay on where did he play? The Redskins, right? Commanders, whatever, right? Or no, where was he from?
No, what wasn't he? Yeah.
wherever he was, right? But like, I don't know, man. You knew that was going to be a short term thing if that was going to happen. I just didn't really understand that, and then I bring that up because he was just cut for somebody this week, so questionable drafting. But
Well, that's what Dre does. Questionable things
before
all around. Look at this squad. It's nothing
I,
to be happy about.
I
we
know we're gonna
switch,
get there. Yeah, I know
oh,
we're
yeah.
gonna get there, but we definitely have to talk about Trey's fab pickup this week.
We will get there, man. But one more other thing before he switched too, I was surprised he benched Burrow, knowing that you got the notification that he was gonna play.
Honestly, I don't blame him because for some reason the Bengals didn't want to say he was definitely playing until like what was it, like 30 minutes before the game.
Clearly, it worked out. I'm not like
I think you guys definitely got into his
there.
head though during the week, saying Burrow's not healthy, Burrow's not healthy, Burrow's not healthy. And then he was like, "I'm not gonna play Burrow. I'm gonna play Matt Stafford."
I
If
mean, he
you
lucked
gotta
out
start your
by
studs though, man.
he definitely
Yeah.
lucked out by having
He
Stafford
did.
too.
Sure. It was 2 Monday night games. Yeah. He would
Yeah,
have
in the
had to
same
make that
time.
decision.
If
Yeah.
his
Yes.
backup quarterback was on
Yeah.
Sunday, he would have had a decision to
We
make.
we
So
said it last week on the podcast. That was a savvy move. That was a good pickup
he
for
could
Dre.
have
That was
definitely
that
plugged
that
in
was a good
Burrow
heads
last
up.
minute.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was a good heads up move.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on to the next matchup, we got Ali versus Palm, which what a surprise, man. I
Wow.
thought I
Yeah.
thought Ali was I thought Palm was gonna win because Palm does have a let's not call it a good team, but it's solid, you know.
Ali 3 and
So
0, bro.
Ali
What the
3-0,
fuck?
but Ali's record is a little iffy though
Fool's
because
gold.
he has one win that's like an under 100 point win, so he
Uh,
should be 2-1
okay.
technically.
Okay.
So this score was 128 to 106. We got two studs quarterbacks, Allen and Mahomes, putting up what they do, 22 points to 26 points. I feel like he's Mahomes should have put up more points, but I guess the running backs just feasted. We got JJ at third pick, man. What a steal! What a steal! What a steal! 24 points. Tyreek Hill, man, he might just end up being
Mediocre
number
day.
one. Yeah, right. He might just be number one wide receiver after all said and done of this year.
Easily.
26 points. We got Debo Samuel too with a great game on Thursday, right? So Palm had to be feeling pretty good. Well, thank you. Palm had to be feeling pretty good on Thursday by getting 22 points. And Devontae Adams, man, I was looking at
What a
this,
day.
20 targets. That's insane. 20
Nuts.
targets, 13 receptions, 172 yards, and I think 2 touchdowns. That's a monster game, and that's what really put Ali over the top here.
And didn't
Uh,
Jimmy G get hurt too? Or am I making that up? It was a concussion or something like that.
Jimmy G, I think he went into concussion protocol.
So who was the quarterback?
I didn't see that game.
My point is, bro, it doesn't matter
I'll
who
tell
the
you right now.
quarterback is. Like he is quarterback proof, bro. He's a stud. Even
Listen,
at
he's a
he's older,
monster.
right? He's like 30,
It
31.
was he played the whole game.
Oh, he
He
played.
played the whole game. I
Maybe
thought
maybe I'm thinking about the prior week.
no, because he's questionable going into this week. So I thought that
I mean, unless whoever came in didn't have one passing attempt, but
I remember seeing him walk out like into the 10 or something. Maybe whatever. I don't know.
I think their backup is can't remember his name. He's a newer
Was that
guy.
Mariota? Mariota? No.
Nah, he's the Eagles backup.
Oh.
So and then we got Godwin, which he didn't put up not much against the Eagles defense, man. I actually watched that game and oh my God, Tampa Bay was struggling in the beginning. I think they only had 3 points. And we got here Reed, man, Jaden Reed for mediocre game, 63 yards. Pierce, man, that's concerning.
Bro,
I mean,
wasn't that touchdown?
he fell into the end zone,
Yeah.
but that is concerning.
Yes.
I know Palm's trying to trade him, but he's not going to be able to because we all know
Nope.
he's got no offensive line, and they're going to be this game script right here is a lie. They're going to be chasing points all the time, I think.
He better package him with Debo if he wants to get rid of him.
Or include a little JJ in there. Talk to me, Paul.
He ain't trading.
Honestly, the only Palm's team is good, in my opinion. His running backs are a little weak, but I think the only way he makes the playoffs is if he flips JJ in the long run.
Well, listen, we also got to think about Waddle was not playing. If Waddle played, I think he would have won because a lot that pie would have definitely slid into to Waddle. So that's something to think about there too. But we then he got Gus Edwards, man, only 5 points, 51 rushing yards. That's just ugly.
I can't wait to talk about his flex.
and then we got Ali with also Cook over here. He put up a very decent game. I think 98 rushing yards, 14 receiving yards. That's a very good without no touchdowns. I think that's good. Higbee, solid game for a tight end, 9.6. What are we doing, Ali? What are we doing with Taysom Hill, bro?
Getting too cute.
What are we doing? He should have lost this game. But
I think Ali was drunk one night and thought that he was putting Tyreek Hill in and put Taysom Hill in by accident.
I don't know, man. That has no. Ali always makes head scratching moves, and
he loves Hill. Every year he plays Hill, dude.
And then what's up with Palm Flex, bro?
Yo, all week he was talking shit. Oh, Reynolds is gonna be the guy. He's gonna be the bell cow. Gibbs is not him. Yeah, 15 rush yards, sick.
He's lucky he didn't have to chug an ice right here,
You're
bro.
Right
because
bro, he got 4 rushing attempts.
That's bad, bro.
It could have been, and it could have been worse. I mean, he could have had a 0, but lucked out there. And we got Breece Hall, man, just not. How many rush attempts did he have? 12.
Yeah, that's a concern, man.
What are they doing?
That line.
What are they doing?
The rumor is that the Jets locker room is not happy with Wilson, and Breece is, talking a little bit about how he's not getting enough carries, which obviously I agree with because last year he balled out. I know he's coming back from an injury, but
he was rookie of the year candidate before he got hurt, man. I mean, you got to feed the kid.
This is week 3 already. If you're gonna play somebody, you got to play them. You can't.
Yeah.
Take this long to.
Your season is going down the drain, and there's something to.
Trevor Siemian is resigning. What the fuck?
I don't know, bro. What are they doing? Trade for somebody.
To note back, the Raiders' backup is Brian Hoyer.
Yeah, I mean, he's a serviceable game manager. He's not going to win you games. He's not going to lose them, though, at the same time.
Brian Hoyer or
that's like a
Zach
name
Wilson.
that the Jets could have been better off than.
Exactly.
Brian Wilson.
Yeah. Brian Hoyer, Zach Wilson.
There's a lot of backups out there that could be that could that could be on the Jets, but they don't want to do it.
Just bring Joe Flacco back.
Run the ball and get the ball into Wilson's hands. That's all you got to do. You'll be all right.
Yeah. And then we got Dallas, man, with a surprising 1 point.
Mm-hmm.
What are we thinking about that defense right now? That defense was Palm's second best player, maybe his best.
Bro, they put up 39 points the first week.
Yeah. And they lost Diggs. So are they gonna be what they were? That determines to be seen. And we got
absolutely not.
No, absolutely right? Not. Yeah. So we got Baltimore right here with 8 points. Very good game for a defense, I think. 8 points. I think it's solid. Not everybody's gonna get your 12 points there, but
Look at A-Chain on the bench for Palm. 50 points.
I know Palm's got to be feeling really good about a potential RB1 on the rise. What do you guys think about that?
He's already put him in the starting slot so that he can send trade offers. Oh, this is my starter. I'm trading you, bro. It's not going to be every week like that, bro.
Bro, hell, you think he's going to put up 49 points every week? Absolutely.
Yeah, right.
Plus, Jeff Wilson's coming back.
Yeah.
Mostert did well last week. So he realistically – I mean, I know he's a young guy and they want to play him, but he could be third on the depth chart in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Not to burst your bubble, Palm, but it is what it is.
Nah, burst that shit.
Listen, Palm's got a bunch of wannabe lottery tickets on the bench, hoping to something hits, and he thinks it. I know this guy changed his name this week. A-Chain, he thinks that he's it, but that determines to be seen. We got Scam Akers right here on Ali's bench. We're gonna see what's gonna happen this week.
You guys optimistic about that? I don't think it's gonna be anything crazy.
I mean, Madison is not. Madison had a terrible game, man. If you watch that game, he had 2 fumbles that luckily it came back. The coaching staff gotta be it can't be happy about it.
I mean, he's still wait, you're talking about Madison?
Yeah.
Madison, yeah, he had 2 fumbles that came back. Like it wasn't counted as fumbles because
Oh,
it was,
okay. I was gonna say
yeah.
he put up 15 points. He
No,
did.
no, no. He put up good points, but if he had those 2 fumbles,
His stat line could have been worse.
Oh
that could
yeah,
have been
for
a
sure.
lot worse. And Ali got Gainwell too on the bench that has been taken over by Swift. So that's gonna be
Yeah.
that's
Not,
it right
not,
there.
not much to talk about on his bench other than Love.
No,
Love is a good
no,
asset to
no,
flip.
not much. If you guys are all done with this matchups right here, we'll move on to the next one.
Sure.
So my next one is John, man, versus Alex. I know there was some extreme beef there this week with John constantly rating Alex team bottom at the bottom. Which to be fair, Alex has the same amount of points as Mario, and Mario's 0-3.
Exactly.
So I think Alex definitely deserves to be there, and he definitely lucked out today, this week. So we'll touch base right here. We got Watson,
Yeah.
man. Watson's coming up, man. I thought he was gonna be a bust, but he had a very good game at 21 points. You got Jalen Hurts, man. He's at the goal line. They got that move that he just sneaks in.
Automatic.
So automatic touchdown, bro. 21 points right there. That was a wash.
They're trying to call it the brotherly shove.
Yeah.
I didn't hear that one, but that was cool. That was funny. We got St. Brown, 15 points, stud, man. Week in, week out, putting up
He still hasn't
points.
got a touchdown either.
Really?
Oh, this is all yards? Wow, impressive, yeah. And then we got Brown, which is probably the squeaky wheel effect, like Hugo called the last podcast. You know he was gonna get his this week, bro. 17 points. Oh, no touchdowns, all yards.
Mm-hmm.
Bro,
He
did you
dropped
guys?
like 3 touchdowns, dude.
I know it was late, but did you guys watch the end of the Rams game? The game was over, but I think like in the chat, only like Palm was replying. But I made a joke. I was like, 20-yard Nakua touchdown right here. Stafford got sacked. So right after I put like 40 yard. I was like, I mean 40-yard touchdown reception. Bro, he was wide open and Stafford underthrew him, so he had to stop, slipped, and like fell at the 2-yard line. If
Oh,
Stafford would have just threw a regular fucking throw
You
and
you
led
would've
him,
won.
it
You
would have
would've
been a
won.
touchdown, and I would have won by 1 point.
Wow, that's
That-
rough, bro. Bad
that-
chance.
And
That
on
would've
top of that, Dev could vouch for me before because we bowl on Mondays. Before bowling, I said to him, I was like, I don't know what it is, bro, but like something is telling me to start Tutu. Like I know Nakua was limited last week and he balled out, but like I don't know the way that he plays. Tutu is very explosive, so like I feel like he might have had a higher ceiling. And
He's
then
quick,
Tutu
bro.
gets that touchdown at the end, winds up with what 16 points,
Yeah.
15.2, and I would have won if I started him.
Damn.
Yeah.
It's all for shits and giggles, but like it's just
How do you feel about having Johnston on your bench? You think something's gonna come out of that? I don't.
Bro, the craziest thing about that is I was gonna cut him last week.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I should do it. I was gonna pick up Cleveland defense because they're playing really well, just to have another defense. I know the Saints actually have a really good schedule, but something was like telling me not to do it, and I didn't do it. I was like, oh, I feel like Williams always gets hurt, like it's bound to just happen, like.
Sure enough.
And sure enough, it happened. Bro, I would have been sick if he fucking got hurt the week after I cut him.
That's crazy.
That was a great pickup, man. No
Bro, he was a
lie.
first-round pick. They spent a lot of draft capital on him. He's gonna
But they're not
slide right
using
in.
him though.
Well, now that there's an
Well,
injury, though, it's
Yeah, they're gonna slide him right into 2. Palmer's gonna go stay at 3, which is why we're gonna talk about Dre's decision. But yeah, I'm confident he's gonna. I mean, I don't know if he'll put up the same numbers as Williams, but I think he'll definitely be serviceable and he could help someone out. So let me know if anyone.
Here we go. Here we go. A little bit of selling on the podcast. Nothing but love there. So we got, like he said, Pikachu, Pikachu, as Paul calls him. He was a decent game, 72 yards, 5 reception. Scary Terry, man, not good. He's just been putting up mediocre's number. He put up 13 points last week against Denver, but that's Denver. That's Denver, man. Denver it looks like a shit show over there. He got only 7 points, man. Only 41 yards, 6 receptions. I don't know, man. I think it's gotta sound an alarm there. We got Michael Thomas, which has been putting up some solid numbers. 8 points, okay. And Amari Cooper should have a bigger game. I don't know if you guys saw it, but they blew that play dead where he was gonna go to the end zone.
He stepped
And
out, right?
he didn't even step out.
It was close. It was close.
It wasn't that close, but 21 points right there, 116 yards, 1 touchdown. We got Kenneth Walker, man, 29 points. Balling right now. 2 touchdowns, 97 yards, 59 receiving yards. That's a great game. And Madison, like we said it before, if you watch that game, that was a horrible game, man. He had 2 fumbles, which it didn't credit him with the 2 fumbles that they stopped the play dead. But it was not good, man. It was not good. AJ Dillon, man, that's gotta suck. 3 points. Your boy A. Jones.
He's almost cuttable, man. I think he's not even worth having.
I think that cuff is not even worth holding on.
Yeah.
And then we got Alex with the one savvy move of holding on to Ford, which he put up 18 points.
Like I said, if you look at his stats, though, he just got lucky, man.
Ford
he had 10 rushing attempts, 18 rushing yards, bro.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at it right
rushing
here.
Yards, fell into the end zone. That's 6. I don't know if you guys saw in red zone, but he had a wide open reception pass where it was completely blown coverage, and it was embarrassing for that defense to do that. But it is what it is, and sometimes you catch a break, and I think that's something that happened in this case.
And Goddard, 6 points, 41 receiving yards, 5 receptions. He's getting the targets right there. He got 7 targets, which is very good on the Eagles.
Going up every week, so it's definitely promising. But tight end's been a crapshoot this year. There's really nobody that stands out.
Ingram finally got some play. He's getting close now.
Who's in the tight end right now? Laporta, right?
Dude, he's balling out.
Balling, bro. And I got a point to make when we get to that one right there. But I'm just gonna hold off on my thoughts right now. Ingram, 10 points, solid game. Anything above, I think, like 6 points for our tight end is solid, man, because it's it's just so crap. And we got Gabe Davis, man, the roller coaster, which he put up decent points.
Only 35 yards, though, man. 1 reception.
Yeah, I know.
1 catch, 1 touchdown.
How many targets did he have? 4 targets, man.
4.
That's not for 37 points. I guess it's not great. And we got Dalvin Cook on the Jets right here.
Waste of $8 million.
He's cuttable too.
I think so too, man.
Alex don't even need 1 league chat, but I cut him in my other league. He's not even worth
I know it's a long season, and losses early on, especially if you already have 2 wins, aren't that big of a deal. But the most embarrassing thing is that I lost to a guy who doesn't even have all his bench spots filled.
I was gonna say, you can't cut somebody that's missing like 2 bench spots, bro.
Why not just pick up a flyer, bro? Like, what are you doing, dude?
Oh my god, he probably didn't even realize until
he doesn't. He doesn't, bro.
At 11 o'clock tonight, you're gonna see him pick someone up. Watch right after this podcast is released.
Oh man, and I think we got a story here on the bench too. A. Jones, I think we all know if A. Jones would have played, John would have won.
Yeah.
But, and we got Kendrick Bourne. I don't think there's much stories here. Choo-Choo, like you said, man, maybe if you went with your gut, but I guess you felt like playing your stud, and that backfired a little bit.
Yeah.
And we got a sneaky pickup here for a Pittsburgh receiver, man. Talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. After Deontay Johnson went down, I was just, I knew Austin in college, and not personally, obviously, but I knew of him, and he's
quick, man. He's fast.
He's quick. They some say that if him and Tyreek Hill raced, it would be very, very close. I don't know how accurate that is, but he's very shifty. Reminds me of like a young Brandon Cooks. Hopefully, without the concussion history, but
he's their return guy, right? For punt returns.
Yeah, I believe so.
He almost broke one, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
he's quick.
Yeah, but he's like especially early on in the season. Like I think later as the season goes, he'll be better. But he's kind of a boomer.
Good stash.
He's like a Mims, you think you'd say?
Yeah, he's not someone I'd plug in right now, especially with the depth at receiver that I have.
And then we got Sky Moore, which you're still holding on to him, which is gonna be
why?
I only picked him up last week.
Well, you didn't drop him this week, right?
No, well, I mean, he had 14 points last week. He had 6 targets this week. I mean, I know he had a shitty week one, and
The
people jumped
Chiefs,
the
though,
gun.
bro. Every
Who
week
cut
something
who
different.
who cut him after week one?
Ali,
Dre? Was it John Dre? Maybe.
he's been on like 4 teams already, dude.
Oh
No,
yeah, I
I
don't
don't
know.
think so.
I
As
And then
soon
you
as
know
got
someone,
Ali had him, Dre, I guess, had him, and then you.
and what are you gonna do when Cup comes back? You're gonna start all three Rams wide receivers, bro?
Fuck
What are you
it.
thinking? Talk
Fuck
to
it.
me
Start
about
all
it,
three,
bro.
bro.
We're talking about power ranking Rams, bro.
not gonna show my hand, bro.
Okay. And then Alex Bench is nothing to talk about. He's got a. Why are you holding to Mooney, bro? Why? Why, Alex? Why? Why?
Kendrick Bourne, too, bro. That was a 1 week wonder.
Oh, but
Bro, Alex could legitimately cut like 3 players and pick up like 4 or 5 players.
Literally.
he's just allowing people to feast on the waiver wire.
Like, does
All
he
right,
know that buys start to come into effect?
Alex is, like I said, he's got 279 points, which equals Mario's points, and Mario's 0-3.
I
So
know.
scheduling right there. He's always
I,
get lucky.
I think his Super Bowl was this week and he got it done. So I guess we'll give him credit for that.
All right, so moving on. I think we're all done here. Moving on to the next matchup. Got we got a surprise game here, man. And Kevin and Mario, which it was the Murph showdown because they were both 0-2.
What a
And
surprise. What the
and,
fuck?
and SB literally put the beats on Mario. 40-point beats got Mario disoriented, drinking some
He liked it.
yes he
Ice.
did. Yes, he
He
did.
got
Drinking some
iced.
ices. Yeah, icy. So let's go through the matchups right here. The Chargers, man, they balled. You talking about Herb, 29 points, and Tua didn't fall behind either with 28 points. I feel like he should have had a better game, but since they just rushed for so many touchdowns,
All right,
but
so I just want to touch on that Miami game. Do you think? Because I don't know if you guys were aware, but I think if they would have scored a field goal, they would have beat the all-time NFL record for
yeah,
points. A
yeah,
lot of people were saying that McDaniel didn't do it because he started as the Broncos ball boy and like wanted to be respectful and like this and that. But part of me tells me he just wanted to do it out of like pure respect in general, not
no,
because it was the Broncos
no, for
and didn't
sure. He
want to
he said
score.
it. He said it later on. He didn't want to pile on,
So I'm
but
pretty
He's a
sure
good coach, man.
there was like no points scored with, and there was like 8 minutes left, right? In the last
mhm.
8 minutes of the game, I don't think anybody scored.
No, they didn't. And we got Keenan Allen, which threw a bomb to Mike Williams, pulled up 36 points. Jerry Judy, 10 points right there with the Denver, which is all probably garbage time. We got more with 11 points. Drake London, 4. Drake London, it's just terrible play right now.
Brutal.
D Hop, man, I don't know what's going on over there. I wouldn't even start him. I have him in another league, like one league chat, but it's terrible. We got George
Tennessee's so
Pickens.
bad.
Yeah. We got George Pickens at 9 points. Decent game. Najee, man. Najee Harris, man. That's just so awful right there. And we got ETN with thick 16 points. Very good game from him. He's been having. What's up with SB and starting Ezekiel Elliott, man? Like, he loves him. 9 points right there. Crazy.
Yeah, he
And
got
they
lucky
got
with that. He just didn't
Kyron.
have any other options. I don't know if I mean, I guess Latavius Murray, but you're like, picking your poison at that point.
Yeah, SB's just waiting for his 2 running backs to come back. He's got 2 studs sitting on the bench, but we'll get to that. We got Kyron Williams with 7 points. That's the thing about the Rams, when they might just chuck and forget to run. Zach Ertz, terrible game. Kelsey, man, Kelsey's a monster. Kyle Pitts. Why are you starting 2 tight ends? But
That's
that's near here or there.
It worked out, I
And
guess.
what save SB is the Buffalo defense too.
Yeah.
33
7 points.
points, bro. Crazy. Anything you guys want to talk about this matchup? I'm just looking at these teams and I just feel disgusted.
Yeah.
Honestly, not really. I mean, I do believe in Kyron. I mean, not being biased, he is, from Notre Dame. I do think he's going to be a stud going forward. Mario, spent whatever on him and got him. I think it was worth every penny. But I don't think that puts him over the top in terms of still being in contention for Murph. So he needs to do something else for sure.
I'm surprised that Ertz only got 2 receptions on 2 targets against a defense like Dallas.
He
But I
needs to
guess
trade.
Dallas was honing in on him. I don't
He
know.
needs to trade Kelsey now before T Swift breaks up with him and let
Yeah.
him go on the decline.
Listen, but if you really look at it, Mario's got like nice running backs, Mixon and ETN. He's just
Yeah.
got no right receivers, man. He's gotta figure that out.
I
Pickens
got
is not
receivers, Mario. I got receivers.
Pickens is not really delivering with Deontay Johnson being hurt. You'd think he'd be blowing up a little bit more.
And SB, I think it's underrated right now because he's in a good position. If Jonathan Taylor comes back and Eckler comes back, he's gonna
He
be in
ain't
good
coming
shape.
back.
You don't think so?
Nah,
Nah.
nah.
He was talking about getting traded this
Are
week.
you asking for trades over there, Arthur? What are you trying to do over here?
I don't think JT's coming back, bro. The Colts are saying they're not giving him a long-term deal, and he said flat out, I don't want to play for the Colts. So they're
Yeah,
gonna
he
make
wants
a
out. He's
point.
not playing.
They're gonna make a point to not give him what he wants and just set the tone for the entire league. Like you guys don't run shit, meaning the running back. So that's my feel. I really don't think JT's gonna come back. Obviously, Eckler will at some point.
What
Kev got lucky, bro. Elliott 9 points. I would have never saw that.
what do you guys think are a couple good fits for JT if they were to trade him or when they're going to trade him?
Oh man, I could see him
Baltimore?
Ravens, bro. Yeah, Baltimore. As if
Yeah.
they don't have
I
a
w-
million running backs right now as it is.
Before Minnesota went 0-3, I would have said them.
Yeah, that would have been another nice fit actually.
Okay, I think there's not much to say about there. Let's move on to another two terrible teams. Listen, I think these teams are both overrated, which is Hugo and Emma, and which is to be said because they both scored under 100 points.
Mm-hmm.
So here we go. We got Kirk Cousins at 27 points, balling,
Balling out.
balling, bro. I think it's QB1 of the season. Is that it? No.
Yeah, you might be right.
Yeah. And then we got Lamar Jackson, which put a very good game, 28 points. Stephon Diggs, man, there's not much to be said there. The guy's a monster. And Emma suffered a big blow to his already terrible squad, which is Mike Williams out for the season. We got Addison, 8 points, 52 yards. He could have had a couple of touchdowns, which it didn't work. It didn't break his way. And then Emma got ice with Reynolds right here, man. And
Mm-hmm.
what are you
was
thinking?
up with him? He wasn't hurt. He dressed supposedly.
Bro, zero. He had nothing, like 0 targets. I don't know. I guess game script didn't need him.
Emma was telling me that he didn't even see him on the field at all.
Well, I was watching Red Zone and it never showed that game, so I wouldn't know. We got Lockett here with a mediocre game, 7 points. Brandon Cooks, man, I don't know why would you start him, but we're talking about a terrible manager. That's Emma. I want to bring up that point of terrible manager because he's got a stud in Laporta. Why are you not making any trade moves with that man? You gotta be telling people that you want to trade. But holla at me, bro. We got Tony Pollard, 13 points. Very decent game. Henry, man, that was looking rough right there. What do you guys think?
Like I said, Tennessee's not playing well. I don't think that they're going to improve much. If they're gonna, I think they're gonna be playing from down a lot. So I don't think Henry's gonna reach his ceiling this year. But I mean, it's Henry at the end of the day. He gets a couple touchdowns, a 70-yard run, stiff arming everybody down the field, and it is what it is. I think he'll be all right. But Tennessee as a whole, I think they're in trouble.
2 things. Cleveland defense is much better than people give them credit for, their run defense particularly. And number 2, I think we're getting to that point where Derrick Henry has so much mileage and tread worn off on him. Those running backs really fall off a cliff pretty rapidly, pretty steeply. Otherwise, why would Tajay Spears be getting so many carries and so many targets? I think we're nearing the end of King Henry's reign as one of the top premier backs. I think he's still going to have games where he's going to be very tough to bring down. He's going to be very serviceable, but being that top elite running back like he was for several years, I have a feeling those days are dwindling. And he may have a little bit of a resurgence when it gets colder out and people are not wanting to tackle this freight train running at them. But like I said, man, they're limiting his carries, and I think that's for a reason.
Yeah, if Tennessee's going to continue to be as bad as I think they will be, they'll be playing from down a lot, and that doesn't help his case.
Another good point.
Yeah. And then we got Smith, man. I think it's going to be either him or AJ. It's going to be swapping every week. So he had a down week at 4.8 points. DeAndre Swift, man, the Eagles of that offensive line just makes holes and he just runs through them. He's so fast. 14 points, great game. I think it's a great running back right now for Emma. And then we got defense 10 versus 9, England and Miami. Man, I think both of these teams are overrated. I think Hugo beat me by luck last week, and I don't see Emma. Emma got to make some moves too. I think, man. I think this is a outlier. If you guys don't have nothing else to bring up, we'll move on to the Fabs.
Let's do it. Sounds good to me.
All right. So let me bring up that screen.
Actually, real quick, before we, as you're pulling it up, what do you think Emma's going to do? I mean, he's got Kittle and he's got Laporta balling out 18 points on his bench. You got to flip one of them, right? You can't have both of them.
But my whole point is that why is he not reaching out to anybody about Laporta training?
He didn't reach out to me.
Emma's being Emma. I don't know what to tell you.
I actually texted Emma yesterday. I was like, yo, because, at bowling, we were talking about some stuff. I was like, yo, send me some stuff and, try to figure something out. No answer. So
typical Emma being terrible manager, but, it is what it is. So talking about the Fabs, man, let's start from the bottom up. Arthur, you got Luke Musgrave, as you mentioned earlier. You saw the game and you saw some missed potential targets right there?
Yeah, bro. I mean, I'm not afraid to admit that I always liked him. I can't even say that I was wrong about him. I didn't want to cut him, but I'm not going to roster 2 tight ends, especially with, my situation, right? I got to have players that have a little bit more upside and potential. So, I got what I needed out of Freiermuth, but I like where Musgrave is as a whole and that, kind of his usage overall. I think the Steelers and Freiermuth are a little bit more streaky where they'll use him one game and then he's MIA the next few. Whereas I've seen consistency in targets out of Musgrave in a position where it's barren out there, so I'll kind of take my chances. And what the fuck is $4 a fab? I wanted to secure him there, so you could throw shade on that.
$4 that you could have had,
bro. At this point in the season, you're spending all your fab on players that already have left, in my opinion. So that's why I don't understand why people still have $100. That makes no fucking sense to me.
Well, if you're stacked.
You're gonna hear shit about how you cut him and then paid for him back. Palm made that comment today. It's like donating something and then buying it back. But
that was funny.
But you can't let that get to you.
What's worse though, having a sunk fallacy cost where you hold on to a player so long just because you drafted them at a certain round. You know what I mean? There's other shit that you can compare to that's worse, in my opinion. Whereas, dude, I got the guy I wanted back. If I paid up a couple of dollars, bro, that's my money. Don't worry about it. If you broke, just say that, bro.
Okay. And then moving on, we got CJ Stroud. What do you guys think about that move on that?
I went for him, bro. I like that pickup. I like that.
Yeah. Well,
honestly, I was gonna pick him up before Sunday, but I just, like you guys were saying before, I don't really have many guys that I would feel comfortable cutting right now. So
you could have cut Sky Moore, bro.
I held on to him.
You could have cut him 2 weeks ago before you had him, bro.
Nah, I mean, all right. You guys think so?
Listen to this. Listen to this. What if Mario is picking up CJ Stroud to try to flip Tua? I think that's what he's gonna do.
You gotta remember, bro. I also have Watson too, who's been playing well. So it wasn't like if I had a quarterback that was like shit in the bed, then I would have.
Has he been playing well? He had one good game.
Nah, he had like 20 something the first week.
Did he? Okay.
Yeah.
And then we got Jerick McKinnon with $1. Roller coaster.
Yo, what order are you going? You missed like.
Yeah, I know it's not the same.
Well, I'm looking at Fab offers. right
I
here.
know, but
No,
are you
the
going
other
into
ones are free
Oh,
agents.
you guys
Okay.
looking at free agents? Okay, you guys
No,
want to
no,
discuss these garbages?
You missed the main one. You missed Josh
no.
Palmer for
Well,
25
it's
dollars.
coming up. That was my next free agent on the Fab right here.
Okay, okay. All
I
right.
think it's
Yeah.
just it must be in different orders because
Yeah,
my
yeah,
order
maybe.
Yeah, well, I'm not
McKinnon's
looking at all
first.
transaction. I was purely just gonna criticize Fabs because
Okay,
yeah,
No,
okay.
yeah, that's all we're talking about. I just thought it was the same. Would be the same order.
no,
But
because
I
if you
thought so
click on
too,
the
John.
click on the Fab offers, it's gonna bring because I don't want to talk about Marvin Mims, good pickup.
I'm getting trade offers right now.
Okay.
read it out
Oh,
loud.
oh yeah, let's talk about it. What do you got?
Talk about it. We'll help
All
you
right,
through it.
bro.
Okay.
All right, carry on, carry on.
So
Smoke screen.
Joshua Palmer on the next Fab offer right here
Yo, this
for
trade is so fucking bad.
25 pesos.
Bro,
$25 and Andre went for him. So it shows desperation on Andre's end right there.
I should tell you the offer I just got, bro.
you should. You don't have to say, well, obviously, but
Nah, go ahead.
you should just say who they offered you. You won't have to say what they asked for. It's just so we know who it is.
It's all right.
So Joshua Palmer, 25 pesos. Mario came second with a $17. What do you guys think about Joshua Palmer? I know John
Bro.
has some thoughts.
All I'm saying is after picking up a Chargers player for 26 or $25, what, 2 weeks ago, should have learned that Chargers players aren't worth that much money, especially if you consider Quinton Johnson, who, like I said, was a first round pick. They spent a lot of draft capital on him. They're going to play him a lot more now. Palmer's just going to stick in his same spot. But essentially, Dre paid the same for Palmer that Mario played for Kyron Williams. And look at the difference of production there.
Just positionally too, the difference there.
And I get it's, our first year doing it and, people don't really know what to pay and stuff like that. But 25% of your total,
Quarter of your fat.
that's rough, man.
But he could be a potentially number 2 on that offense. You don't think so? You don't think it's worth it?
We saw what he's capable of. He's going to be serviceable. He's going to be good, but he's not. Does he have the potential to be what Quinton Johnson's potential could possibly be? To be seen.
Yeah, I'm really not being biased. I do think Johnson's going to fill in as a number 2 there for sure.
Okay, and I only was talking about Fabs. You guys want to talk about these free agents here, or
real quick though? Emma really likes this Downs kid, man. I know he's getting targets and he's got potential. But $8 for did anyone even bid on him? You could have got him for free, bro.
Yeah, I don't know.
Crazy.
I mean, I'm surprised Palmer even got that many offers.
I mean,
you got a lot of offers.
I mean, you already had Johnson, so what else are people going to bid on?
Honestly, if I didn't have him, I still wouldn't have paid $1 for him.
Hugo,
I don't even know if I would have wasted my waiver for him to be honest with you.
I think you missed this one, Phil. If you said it, correct me. But McKinnon got picked up by Hugo for $1. He dropped.
Yeah, he mentioned
it, and then more recently, and this is free agent, but I actually like to pick up from Clayton. Oh shit, he dropped Josh Kelly after all that. Speaking of
$26 down the drain,
and he got Rashee Rice. I like the Rice pickup, but wow, you
like the Rice pickup, but you're jocking me for Sky.
Well, okay, but look at the difference though. We've seen Sky Moore's usage. He's like a gadget player. Like, what's his ceiling going to be? Whereas Rice, they're targeting him in a limited amount of snaps that he's getting. So, what's going to happen when he gets more comfortable in the system? I think there's a higher ceiling there.
I don't know. The way I look at it with Moore is, yeah, he's not number 1 receiver on the team potentially, but he had 6 targets or 6 catches last game. He had 14 fantasy points the week before that. I'm sure if we went on and looked at other teams, there's plenty of other receivers that people have rostered that have way less output than Sky Moore. So,
and looks like Andre just picked up Mims because I guess he was dropped by whoever.
And by the way, I probably will cut Sky Moore this week.
So a couple more moves have happened since the podcast, but nothing too groundbreaking.
Yeah, everything here, I think
I think this week was a very weak waiver wire.
I actually was with the opposite emotion. I was surprised how many people were on active on the waiver wire. I thought it'd be less.
That's what I'm saying, player wise.
Yeah. I thought for the same reason, because it was weak, like you said, but surprised how many people actually.
Listen, it's not that many people. It's just Clay. It's just Clay trying to come
Clay
out. Look,
makes
Clay.
up 75% of the moves.
It's just Clay Wandale, Clay Mims.
Yeah, make
It's
up
just
your mind, bro. I see fucking Wandale picked up 3 times already.
yeah.
Drop,
So
pick up.
so it's just
Shit.
him right now, desperation mode without without making it
Yeah.
seem he's desperate.
Yeah, and
So,
Palm's talking all this shit to Artie about, oh, you dropped someone and then picked them back up. He did the same thing for Gibson.
Let him fucking know, John.
He didn't spend money on him, but he still used his waiver.
yeah. So I think we should move on to the next week's matchups.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
So let's go. And it comes up to me as, since it's logged into my name, I go first versus Emma. Which the rankings are right now, second place versus sixth. Emma should be a lot lower than that, but that's neither here and there.
Mhm.
We got Richardson versus Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson's going against a tough defense, man. I don't know about that. That offense is not looking good. I think it's risky for Richardson right there, but I think I don't know, it's gonna be tight. Olave, Ayuk. Ayuk is gonna feast, man. I don't know. I'm scared about that matchup right there. Pittman, which has been a surprising for everyone, versus Sutton. Sutton might get his this week too. Hopefully we got my boy coming making a surprise, man. Watson this weekend. And I'm not even sure if Emma's really set up his lineup because he's gonna play Josh Downs.
I mean,
Nah,
you
he's
just picked him
he's
up. So
trolling you, bro. He's trolling you, bro. He has Henry on the bench. You're not
Yeah,
gonna sit your fucking second round pick.
yeah. So and we got McCaffrey. He should ball. We got Swift too, which is gonna put up maybe some decent, very good numbers versus Washington. Mostert. What do you guys think is gonna happen with that Buffalo matchup, man? Miami and Buffalo. You guys gonna think it's gonna be a high scoring game or a tight game?
it's divisional, bro. It's gonna be a tight game. It's gonna be hard nosed. I don't think it's gonna be a high scoring affair like everyone else probably thinks it may be, even though there's so many threats there, man. Those divisional games, they play it tough. And I wanted to go back to your comment about Ayuk feasting. He's coming off an injury, and that's another divisional matchup, San Fran versus Arizona. I could see it being a tighter game than what people think too.
You think so? I hope
Possibly.
so.
Yeah.
I hope so. And then Josh Jacobs, man, he has not been he started out very slow.
Yeah, he did.
Very, very slow. So we got a chance to see him against LA. So we'll see. Andrews,
Telling you, when these running backs get paid, man,
well, he didn't really get paid though. They gave him a
It was the
friendly
same.
1 year deal, right?
Same as a
Saquon.
franchise tag, pretty much.
Yeah.
oh, okay,
So
okay.
yeah, no, he didn't really get paid. So, and then we got Mark Andrews versus Kittle. Man, looking at
What's
this
going on with
right.
Andrews this year?
I know he's got a down year. You're right.
Well, I think he started out injured, so I'm hoping he's gonna make his
The Ravens
entrance.
offense in general is just not clicking yet.
No, that offense is not that offense is not delivering, man. And we got Dell versus Henry. I think Henry's gonna have another down game, man. I don't know. And then Cleveland versus Miami. So what do you guys think? I'm taking myself here. I know that maybe they say I'm biased, but I just like my matchups all around.
I also, with my predictions, I went with you.
What do you think, John?
Yeah, I didn't pre-look at this and write down like who I thought was going to win for each game, but just like browsing it right now, I would probably have to say you have the edge, Phil, for sure.
If I'm
the
Emma,
only-
I don't know if I'm playing Kittle against Arizona when I have Laporta going against Green Bay.
I'm a couple of Emma's matchups are questionable to me. I think he has a few tough ones. Where on Phil's side, I think his only tough matchups are Mostert against Buffalo and Andrews against Cleveland. Um,
Agree.
Cleveland defense, I feel like, is going to score decent amount of points against Baltimore. They haven't really been playing well. That refers back to what I said about Andrews. Other than that, yeah, I think Phil got this one.
Oh, 100% sure. Unless Emma makes a trade for Laporta, which he should, man. I don't know why you got a stud tight end sitting on that bench. And listen, Hunt is not gonna help you, Emma. I don't know why you holding on to Hunt, bro. Let him go.
Hmm.
All right, moving on to the next matchup. On my end here is Arter 10th place versus Ali, first place. I'll let you kick it off, Arthur. Talk about your own team since you're no
You
more
want me
than
to
I
go
do.
through the matchups?
Yeah. Take it
All
home.
right.
It's your squad.
All right, man. I got T Law going up against Atlanta. He's got Pat Mahomes at the New York Jets. Not a matchup I'm looking forward to with the Jaguars. They've really started off so slowly, but that's got to change sooner or later. Is it going to be this week against Atlanta? To be seen. But Pat Mahomes against the Jets, I'm hoping that the Chiefs start to freaking roll the Jets and they take Mahomes out at halftime. That's really my only hope of winning that matchup. Then looking at receivers, we got CeeDee Lamb against New England. He's going to be going up against that Christian Gonzalez kid, which he's been pretty locked down thus far.
He's a
And then
stud.
he is a stud. And Ali's got Tyreek Hill at Buffalo. I got Christian Kirk at Atlanta just for the stack. And I think Zay Jones is ruled out already. So I have that to my benefit. I don't love it being a London 9:30 a.m. game. I think that throws off offenses even more, which I forgot to kind of touch on as
I
well.
hate that those games are back.
Oh,
And the
fucking
fact that
love.
you have what, 3 players?
Ugh, don't
Come on.
remind me. Yeah, yeah.
I love those games, bro. Waking up on a
I
Sunday,
like
dude.
it for us, but bro, the players
Yeah,
don't
as a
perform.
fan,
Yeah,
but for
I
yeah.
like it.
honestly.
I like when it's other people's team. I guess I should
Yeah,
have phrased it like that.
of
It's
course.
basically
I
the
have.
same as having 3 Thursday players.
Yeah, yeah. Don't love that either. And then just to keep moving, he's also got Devonte Adams going against the Chargers away. I got Zay Flowers at Cleveland, and he's got Jay Reed versus Detroit. Looking at running backs, I got Bijan at Jacksonville again in London. He's got James Cook versus Miami in a divisional matchup. I got Jameer Gibbs on that Thursday night with a matchup with Green Bay. And he's got Javonte Williams going at Chicago. Looking at tight end, I got Musgrave, my boy, who I picked up at Detroit. He's got Taysom Hill. I don't know if that's going to stay, but going against Tampa Bay. In my flex, I did decide to go with James Conner. This is prior to our podcast. So I got a tough matchup against the San Fran defense, going against his flex of Brees Hall versus Kansas City. And with my defense right now, I have the Colts going against the Rams, and he's got Baltimore at Cleveland. So a couple of things I wanted to touch on. I was stuck kind of between that Nico Collins on my bench, flexing him over Connor, given the matchup that Connor has. But Connor so far has proven me wrong that he really is matchup proof. So I think I am going to go with the nod there. And in my defense, I don't love the matchup against the Rams, but for whatever reason, I feel like the Rams have sort of been, I know they're able to move the ball, but I feel like they are also creating a lot of turnovers. Like Stafford is throwing interceptions here or there. So I decided to give them a shot. And then going forward, I think Indy has some pretty decent matchups. So I like them, picking them up off the free agency this week. So all in all, I'm not going to bet against my team, so I'm calling a big upset. I think I'm taking down Ali this week.
All right, so I think I'm gonna have to go with you on that one, Arthur. I think this will give Ali his first loss. I'm not in love with his matchups whatsoever. James Cook against Miami, don't love that. Tyreek Hill against Buffalo. I mean, I know it's Tyreek Hill, but it could be better. Mahomes against the Jets. I know it's the Jets, but no one ever said anything about the Jets defense.
True.
Don't like Taysom Hill against anybody. Um, Brees Hall hasn't got great carries. I think, Cleveland offense is, despite losing Chubb, they're starting to pick up some steam. Where on your side, like you said, Connor is doesn't matter who he's playing against, he seems to always perform. Gibbs against Green Bay. Anyone in that Green Bay Detroit game I like, and I'm not just saying that because I have, 2 players in that game as well. Yeah, so I really don't see any bad matchups on your end already besides Flowers, but he does get the volume, so I think
Mhm.
that he'll be all right.
I think
Um,
I think if I could outlast his top three of Mahomes, Hill, and Adams, everyone else I think will be, like mediocre type performances. Maybe Javonte Williams against a weak, Chicago Bears team. But,
yeah.
if
I
I'm able to just match him with a couple of those players, I think I have a decent shot.
if I had to say what your key to victory was, I would probably say T Law playing well
Yeah. Yeah. Big
You
time.
against Atlanta
you
and
need
Mahomes not
T
playing well.
you
He's been
need T
killing me,
Law
man.
to
Been
step
killing
up
me.
and to,
Yeah.
to bring you home for sure, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, the quarterback position is definitely key in this matchup.
Yeah. I agree.
So I also went with Artie here mainly because I want
You
Ali
change
to
your
lose.
answer?
No, I wrote it here wrong on my thing.
Ah,
You
I
can't be
wrote it. I
picking the
wrote
mo. You can't be picking the picks emotionally, Phil.
no, I'm
damn.
not. Well, I'm not. I'm gonna explain my train of thought. I think, I think, I think his tight ends is definitely shit. He's gonna end up playing Taysom Hill unless he changes, and his running backs are not good, man. He's hoping to catch a break with running with the Williams against Chicago, but I don't know, man. It's not good. And Reed's is not gonna perform. You got Aaron Jones coming back, and you got I'm hoping Watson's going to be back, which he said he's going to play. So that Green Bay wide receiver is not going to put up any points at all. Uh,
Now, do you
and Brees
think? No, go ahead, my bad.
and then Brees Hall, like I think it's not going to put up any points either. Mahomes got, I mean, Ali's got three players, and that's three players you got to worry about. You said it very well. And if those three players don't perform, and I think that Miami game, it's going to be tight, man. It's not going to be a blowout. It's going to be a low scoring game. I
Waddle's
know
back too. Spread
Wild
the ball out.
back too, and with A Chain coming back on board, that's less targets for Hill, and they're gonna try to do everything to keep Hill out. So
Now, I know this is kind of against the grain, and I don't think Ali has a big enough sack to do so, but I don't know, man. I would consider starting Love over Mahomes in this matchup.
Wow, that's a good
no,
train of thought.
Ah,
You
see,
you might be onto
you're
something
going by
there.
names, bro, and
no,
I know it's
man,
Jets
all right,
no.
all right,
defense is tough, man.
all right. I guess we'll see.
Well, yeah, and Taylor Swift is going to be at that game, so distractions will be everywhere.
Yep.
Well, but he did just pick up Parham, so he might play Parham. So we'll
Parham.
Bro, if you look at Mahomes, he played three soft defensive teams the first 3 weeks, where Jordan Love played a pretty good Saints team last week and put up 25 points.
Oh, he's been killing it for
Um,
fantasy.
I think that Jets morale, even though they're a great defense, man, as soon as they start not being able to convert third downs, and the Chiefs chugging them in, Mahomes is gonna still put up
But
his.
even more to your point, though, if they start dismantling by the first half, then you may see an early exit for Mahomes just to keep him healthy.
Yeah, but by then he might already have 30 points though.
pretty interesting side note here. Mahomes put up 68. I know fantasy points, you can't really go by that week by week, but he put up 68.4 so far this season, is ranked eighth, and Love is 68.6, ranked seventh.
Wow, pretty close.
And if you look up the matchups, Love had tougher matchups than Mahomes. I don't know. I'm not telling you what to do, Ali, but it might be something to consider.
I like your train of thought, John.
I know you do, Arthur. I know you do. So moving on to the next one, we got Palm, eighth place, versus John, fifth place. I'll let John kick it off there since it's his squad. Tell us, what are you thinking, John?
All right. So from the beginning, obviously, since my week one rankings came out, I gave Palm credit. I said Palm easily had the best team, depending on how his running backs did, which they didn't pan out like we
Which
thought.
I disagree with your rankings, by the way, but it's okay.
Of course. He has a Shane, like I said, he's not going to put up 40 points again, but he could be, serviceable and fall in the end zone and put up another solid game. Montgomery's coming off an injury. It's a short week. I don't know if he's going to play, and if he does, I don't know how well. But you could also say the same for Jones with me on my team. So I think this basically just comes down to, like, I think there's a very even match. even game. I think that Allen against Miami is a tough matchup. Um, Shane against Buffalo. Those are the two toughest matchups on Palm's end. On my end, Watson against Baltimore. Baltimore is always, stiff on defense. But I do love a couple matchups that I have. I love Nakua against Indianapolis. I love Walker against the Giants. If Jones does play, I love him against Detroit. Um, New Orleans, I feel like it's going to be all over that Tampa Bay defense. Tampa Bay showed their true colors last week. I think it's going to be a very close game. It's basically like a coin flip in my eyes, but I'm obviously going to have to go with myself.
Listen, I was going back and forth with this game too, but
Close, yeah.
I was going back and forth. I could see either team winning, but for the picks, since me and Arthur had almost the exact same thing, I went with John to differentiate.
Yeah.
And I think you got him beat on the running backs, man. I think A-Chain is gonna come down to earth this week with a mediocre score, and Montgomery too. It's a very hard play, man, and I think that's the difference right there.
The only thing that worries me about this is Jones was limited through a walkthrough. So if you're limited through a walkthrough, not even a practice, that doesn't make me very confident. The game's tomorrow, unless they're just being super cautious with him. But like I said, the Green Bay, they don't really show their hand when it comes to injuries. So who knows? He could be back and be 100% and play the whole game, or he could come back and not play that much and just kind of wean him in as the game goes on. So I guess we'll see. But tomorrow's going to be telling for sure on this matchup.
I also kind of struggled with this matchup. I think it's very close. Again, mentioned already, but the injuries are going to dictate, which side the favoritism sways. Ultimately, I thought Palm's wide receivers are going to have a little bit more potential for big boom days. Although I like your wideouts too. Just for the wideout reason, I'm going to go with Palm slightly. But again, that may be subject to change given what the injury layout looks like for the next couple of days.
And one thing I didn't touch on was I love Michael Thomas with Jameis as QB compared to Carr. So
they're going to be.
I just think that Winston's a gunslinger. Him and Thomas.
Yeah, but wouldn't that be an Olave game instead of Michael Thomas?
I mean,
yeah,
it could be, but he's a gunslinger, so
Yeah, but Olave's going to be that deep threat. Michael Thomas is like the slam boy, like in routes, and
there could be a lot of output where both wide receivers do well. That happens.
Yeah.
Or it could be a catastrophe. We never know with Winston.
It's just that the only reason that makes me think that is that when Carr got hurt last week, I think Thomas had 0 points. And he wound up finishing with 7 after Winston came in the game and had like 8 catches or something like that. So, maybe he likes him, or maybe Olave will fall out and Thomas won't do anything. We don't know.
You deciding to bench Tutu Atwell and Quinn Johnston over a Gabe Davis, who's been very sporadic.
You love Gabe Davis, bro. What is your love?
Listen. He had a great week 2. I was like, all right, let me give him the benefit of the doubt. Playing week 3, I was gonna play Puka and Atwell at flex, but I didn't want to take that chance. I was like, let me just plug Davis back in there. He had a good week 2. He, wound up scoring a touchdown. It was his only catch of the game, so it wasn't that great. But 9 points out from your flex, a lot of people would probably take that. But I guess we'll see. I'm not 100% confident he's going to be staying in there, but we'll see. A couple trades could also happen. So you never know.
And we got Palm benching Pierce. So is that going to bite him? Is that going to bite him in the end, or we'll see?
Pretty telling.
We'll see. So moving on, if everybody doesn't have anything else to say about this matchup, moving on to Clay versus Dre, which Clay is in chicken race right now, 0-3. Clay needs this win desperately before we start auctioning his team, Chase. So we got and it's not looking good for Clay, bro. We got Daniel Jones, the Seahawks, Burrow versus Tennessee. Burrow's still not healthy, as you guys are seeing that last game, but I still like I don't know. think I still like Burrow there. We got Chase versus Wilson. I give the nod to Chase. Wilson is just pure garbage right now. Riddle, really, and Higgs. I don't know. I like it. I like Ridley to bounce back, man. I just like his speed, and they got to feature him more there. Thielen. Thielen is not. I don't think he's gonna duplicate what he did last game. So I give it definitely the nod to Evans. Kamara's not your savior, Clay. He's not your savior. Make sure you wake up for that dream, that 3-year-old dream, and he's not gonna put up numbers. I'm calling now. You're gonna call me a hater, but it is what it is. Pacheco's not good either, Dre. Straight up trash.
I don't know if you guys remember, but before Kamara got hurt or suspended or whatever happened to him, his last few games weren't very promising.
They were not. They were not.
Whatsoever.
Listen, ever since Breeze came out, he's been okay. He's not the Kamara that we know that we knew.
Bro, he could honestly come back and be the Kamara that we knew, or he could come back and be Le'Veon Bell. We don't know.
I don't know, man.
Hopefully it's the latter. So
we got Sanders. I don't think Barkley's gonna play.
I was just gonna say, yeah. And even if he does, he's not gonna be shifty at all. He's gonna be banged up after a high ankle sprain. Even though they're calling a low, come on, he's not gonna be the same.
Type of back. No,
bro, he's always hurt.
Always, man. It's unfortunate, but that's just the way the dice roll towards him. We got the terrible tight end. I'm not even going to speak his name, Clay. And we got Hawkinson. I give a nod to Dre there. We got Metcalf and Zach Moss. I think Zach Moss, I don't know, man. I've been calling his downfall ever since he started, but he's been putting up numbers, so I don't know there. And we got Kansas City Chiefs versus Philadelphia. I don't know. I like Clay here.
I also went with Clay. I think Evans for Dre is going to be shut down again by Lattimore. You know, that infamous matchup where they go back and forth. I think Barkley's going to have limited production. Even if he plays, he may not even play. Hawkinson against Carolina. Carolina actually has a pretty tough defense. You can say what you want about their offense. Their defense is tough. So I'm tempering expectations for Hawkinson there. I do like Burrow and Higgins stack, especially against Tennessee, just because they're a pass funnel defense, tough against the run, but you could definitely move the ball on them there. But then Garrett Wilson against the Chiefs, I don't think he's going to get much production there because of those tough matchups for Dre. And I kind of like some of the matchups for Clayton, particularly Daniel Jones against Seattle. I think you're going to see a pretty decent bounce back game there. Jamar Chase against Tennessee for all the reasons I just mentioned. Calvin Ridley had a quiet game, so expect a little bit more production out of him, or at least an attempt to do that. Have him be a little bit more successful this week.
Revenge game too, by the way.
What's that?
Revenge game for Ridley.
Oh, that's true. That's
right.
That's a good point there. And again, Metcalf against the Giants. I think Banks got hurt. There's rookie corner. So, you never know what you're going to see there. So, because of those reasons, I'm actually giving Clay the upset here over Dre.
Yeah, this one was tough. I mean, I think this is another coin flip, but I mean, I know you can't invest too much in revenge games, but like I said, you got revenge game for Ridley, you got a revenge game for Thielen. When it comes to the quarterbacks, obviously I'm going to go with Burrow, so I'm going to give Dre the edge on that. Overall receivers, I think Chase is catching his stride. I think he's going to pick up, like I obviously for the third time said, Ridley's going to have a good game in my opinion because of the revenge game, and guys always tend to play well against their old teams, and coaches kind of tend to feed into that as well. So breaking it down to that, with Barkley not being healthy, even if he does play, even though Pacheco has been playing decent, hard runner. He has Metcalf at flex, which on probably any other team in this league, he would be in the receiver slot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with Clay to get his first win here.
Yeah, I think Clay's, unless Burrow and T. Higgs connect for a lot, which it could happen, but I like Clay here.
Sorry, Dre.
Yeah, no, I hope Dre loses. Moving on, we got Hugo and SB. And listen,
do we have to go over this one?
Do we? I don't, man. I'm looking at SB team and it is straight up
Oh, man.
garbage, man.
And then he
Uh,
drops 140 though.
listen, yeah, Keenan Allen. I was looking at it. Keenan Allen, Herb, and Buffalo. They accounted for 98 points out of his
Yeah.
140.
I said in the chat, those three players would have beat me alone last week.
So I don't even, you know,
Yeah, but you're gonna
I
get the same production week out, week in, week.
yeah.
It's tough to ask for that.
I mean, we got Herb, which is gonna put up some good numbers. We got Cousin, which is balling too, man. Keenan Allen, he's gonna do his thing. We got Stephon Diggs in a tough matchup, but that's where SB starts falling off right here. Uh, we got Moore, which I don't know. He should be dropped, honestly. But he is going against Denver, so maybe it is a Hail Mary there. Devontae Smith against Washington, which I think he's gonna do very well. D Hop, man, that Tannehill's not throwing the ball. Like that offense is just not great. And
He's
Tyler
washed.
Lockett, and Tyler Lockett, he might feast against the Giants, man. The Giants are just not playing very good defense right now. Najee Harris is horrible. I'm not even going to talk about that. Tony Pollard is going against a tough defense, which it still beats Najee Harris. Ezekiel Elliott, man. Kevin is just trying to survive until his running backs come back, but he won't. We got Stevenson, which should put up decent numbers. I'm not the tight end matchup with Zach Ertz. He had a lot of targets in the previous week. Not this
Last
week
week.
that just came up, but he's going against St. Fran defense, which is a very tough defense. Ugh, that's crazy right there. I'm shocked why SB and Emma have not traded since they live under the same roof, and he
Yeah.
needs a tight end.
Yeah, I
But
was just gonna say
whatever.
I'm not gonna go too much into. Oh, did you make your pick, Phil? You picked Kev,
Oh
obviously.
yeah, Hugo, bro,
Oh,
Hugo.
I mean Hugo.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
not
not.
gonna go too. I'm not gonna go into depth with this matchup. I'm gonna say two things. One, I think 155 Main Street is going 0-2 this week. Two, I think Hugo's team might be like the higher scoring team this week. So I'm gonna go with Hugo.
Yeah, I'll keep it short and sweet. Hugo's gonna win.
Listen, I do hope that Hugo loses by some miracle, but unfortunately that won't happen. And we're gonna go to the last matchup of the week, which is not John, sorry.
Mario.
Alex and Mario. Man, let's see. I haven't even let me see what I picked, man. I'm going with Mario on this end, and I'm gonna just review why Tua versus Hurts right there. Hurts, I think, wins. A Brown and Judy. Man, A Brown is gonna be so spotty, man. It's gonna be either him or on D Smith. So that's just a toss up. Cooper, London. I think London might have a sneaky game here. We got Myers and Pickens. Madison's just straight up garbage, man. I do see him losing the starting job. We got ATN, and that's where Myers starts kicking up. We got ATN. Ford is gonna have a tough game against Baltimore. That's gonna be a divisional matchup. You got Kyron Williams. Mary needs him to put decent numbers. Ingram, here there. Kelsey's gonna ball. McLaurin, I think, is gonna get shut down. Mixon's gonna put up straight up beast numbers. I mean, they do have a tough defense, Tennessee, but I think he falls in the end zone. Maybe not beast numbers, but decent numbers. I like Mario here, to be honest.
Yeah, I also went with Mario. I like his running backs better, even though they may have not ideal matchups. I give him the nod there. I don't see Ford having a big day unless it's some miraculous fall into the end zone. I don't see Madison having a good day against a tough Carolina defense. I do like Alex's wideouts, but ultimately, I think Mario's wideouts are going to do just enough to kind of balance out the power there. And Tua's been on fire, man. Even against a tough Buffalo defense, I think he'll be able to keep up with Jalen Hurts. So I don't know, man. I'm just going. I feel like Mario's going to pull this one out and get his first win.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on my end, I think that Mario's going to get the win as well. Obviously, I'm going to have to go with Hurts getting the edge over Tua slightly just because of the matchups. Alex does have, way better receivers, but then falls down heavily at running back. I don't think Mattinson's going to really do much. Don't think Ford's going to do much. Mario's got two good receivers. He has Kelsey. He's back in rhythm from his injury. He has a pretty solid flex in Mixon. And I think Jacksonville defense, especially playing early Sunday morning, that might be a low scoring game. Not in love with Ritter whatsoever. I know Cincinnati's also playing Tennessee, but I feel like Tennessee's got a little bit more oomph than Atlanta does. So, all things considered, I'm going to have to go with Mario to also get his first win, just like Clay this week.
Well, all right, boys. I think we pretty much covered everything, and I think next week Arthur should be back on the helm.
Yeah, I think so. I'll be good.
And this is it, boys. Thanks for joining us. And John, you did great too, I think. That was
Great
good.
job,
It's pretty
guys.
good.
I'll talk to you.
All right, later.